Hey BookTube, it's Peg. I'm at the History Shelf, and I'm back today on a Friday. It's a Friday. It's hard to keep track of the days. I actually went out today for the first time in a long time to meet friends for lunch. Typically do that after Christmas every year. One of my good friends, Lauren, who lives in Nashville, she came in from out of town, visiting her family, and then my friend Sarah, who lives in the same state, but she might as well live in another state. Such a long drive, but to where she lives. But we meet halfway, and we had a wonderful lunch. So great to catch up with the girls. And so after that was over, I was like, I was only gone a couple hours. And I was like, I could go home. And I'm like, I just miss browsing in like a bookstore, and I really miss doing that. So I was just like, well, there's a Barnes and Noble not far from where I live, and so I was like, I'll just stop in and see if they have any interesting post Christmas sales or whatever. So anyway, this video is going to be just a little combined video. I have some used books that I got in the mail from Thrift Books I want to show you, and then just a couple little things I picked up today at Barnes and Noble. So, I say I'm not going to buy any more books. I think I've said that at some point in these videos, but yeah, you never quite get away from buying new things. Okay, so I'm going to start with the new stuff. I must be on a mystery kick lately. I'm just wanting to read as many as I can and read new series and discover new people. And this author, he's been on my list of writers to check out. And, I didn't want to spend a lot of money. And, of course, it's a mass market paperback, which I'm not, too keen on. If you watched one of my recent videos, don't really care for them. However, they're just, that's how they're printed right now. And so I figured I could breeze through this, and pass it along to the library or to a friend or whatever. But I'm really excited. This is the first book in the Joe Pickett series of CJ Box. This is Open Season. Again, a little mass market paperback, but kind of opens really easily. Nothing too... I've had books where you have to just break the spine to open it, and I hate doing that, even with mass market paperbacks. But anyway, this is the first Joe Pickett novel. Joe Pickett is the new game warden in 12 Sleep, Wyoming, a town where nearly everyone hunts, and the game warden, especially one like Joe, who won't take bribes or look the other way, is always far from popular. When Joe finds a local hunting outfitter dead, splayed out on the woodpile behind his state-owned home, he takes it personally and thrusts himself into a mystery that threatens the life and family he loves. So, I've heard rave reviews about CJ Box in this series, so I thought I'd just give it a shot. Looks like it'll be a pretty fast read. Plus, there's a new hardcover book out, a new, I think it's called The Bitter Roots, and has a female protagonist in it. So I thought I'd like to check out his writing with the Joe Pickett series, and then I definitely want to read the new novel where there's a female. I think she might be a detective or policewoman, and she's going to be the probably like for a new series. So I'm pretty excited about that. And then I was browsing the newsstand. I always like looking at magazines. Obviously, I subscribe to a ton of them, and so I got two little things here. One of them was just I'll just show this real quick. Sometimes I just love doing crosswords, and I realized the other day I just didn't have anything I could do crosswords on, so I just picked up. So they're just nifty if you're watching a movie, but you just kind of want to keep your mind not, vegging out. You just don't want it to turn to mush. I like to work on some crosswords. So I just picked up a penny press. Can't go wrong there. And then, I used to subscribe to these, and then I fell off from it. And I picked this up, and who knows, I might subscribe again, but we'll see how much I enjoy this. But I used to subscribe to the Alfred Hitchcock's mystery magazine, and I also subscribed to the Ellery Queen one as well. But I was looking at this one right here. This is a February 2020 issue. Short stories, and pretty easy read. Nothing too strenuous. Um, they always have like a book review too in there or something. But oh, and you gotta love the line drawings. I just love it. So I was like, you know what? And it was like $8, but you know, you can subscribe, I think, for much cheaper. Um, yeah, it's like a 1-year subscription. It's like $27. So there are what, 6 issues a year. Anyway, I thought this would be kind of neat and fun, and just have it next to the you know, near to hand at the reading table. So I got that. So basically, you know, I got CJ Box. I got Open Season, and then some crosswords and an Alfred Hitchcock. So that was the extent of my Barnes & Noble outing. I kind of refuse to pay anymore. I mean, I have a Barnes & Noble membership, so I got like 10% off. So it's like $23 with tax. But yeah, that's what you get for $23 these days. Okay, so a while ago I had placed several different orders for used books, and they came in, and I was sick, and I never opened them, as I've mentioned before. But so a lot of these I forgot that I bought. I'll try to remember why I did. But the first one I know why I did. I love his work. I've read several, at least 2 or 3 of his revolutionary studies. And this is Gordon S. Wood. This is The Purpose of the Past, Reflections on the Uses of History. And this was a strange theme. Normally when I buy used books, they come, I don't find anything interesting in them. Well, this one had a bookmark just sitting in the middle of it. So I was like, oh, okay. That never really happens, but free bookmark. Oh yeah, so these are like book. He writes. What are these? Oh, I'm gonna love this. The reflections on the uses of history. It looks like some of these are. He's got like reprinted book reviews that he's done on different books, the history books. Yeah, they're all. Oh, I love it. These are book reviews. That's right. That's why I bought it. I forgot. I thought they were just essays in general, but yeah, the reviews he's written in the past quarter century. They've run in non-academic journals like the New York Review of Books and the New Republic. Oh, this is cool. Okay, yeah, he's reviewing books like Explaining America, The Federalist by Gary Wills. There's one. And there's something on narrative history here, where he reviews. Oh, The Glorious Cause, which is the part of the Oxford History of the United States. He does a review here, The Glorious Cause by Robert Middlecoff. So, yeah, this is great. This is a book full of reviews. Love it. You know, I can't every time. And I think that was Goldie coughing underneath 5 layers of blankets. Okay, I think she's okay. We're going to keep pushing through here and finish this video up. Okay, so then I bought this book on a whim because, of all things, I watched The King on Netflix about Henry V. And I guess I didn't know, or I'd forgotten that he was such a misfit, and, you know, Henry IV had basically pushed him off. He said, you know, your brother will become king, you will not, even though you're the eldest, because you're just a, you know, debauched. All you care about is drinking and, you know, sleeping around. And I almost said another word. No, I wasn't going to say that word. I was going to say, like, you know, whoring around, you know. Sorry, I don't. I'm really not this prudish, but anyway, so he was kind of a loose cannon as a young man, but then he was turned into the king that would win the Battle of Agincourt. And so I found this online. This was the English Monarchs series. This is Henry V by Christopher Almond. It's kind of a beat up used. I thought it said it was like new, but it has a very funky smell, you guys. At least it's not cigarette smoke, but it smells like slightly sour, like an old library book, and they keep in the basement, you know. So some of the pages are a little bent, but other than that, If anyone has read this one, because I went looking for biographies, a good one standalone biography on Henry V, and for some reason this was the one I found. I don't know if there are others, and I know if anyone could, I know Steve Donahue could give me a reference or a recommendation, or any one of you guys that are into um, uh, just English royalty and pre-Tudor, after whatever. Um, but apparently there's a whole series for this English monarch series, and they do all these guys. So I don't really recognize the authors on a lot of these, but anyway, so I picked this up for a song. It's always less than $5. And then I got this small volume of fiction because one of the books I asked for Christmas, I don't know if I'm getting it or not. I still have to go and doing a gift exchange with my sister. But I want to read Roberto Bolaño, and I want to read 2666. So while I was researching some of his works, this book came up. It's called By Night in Chile, and it's a very slim volume. And I ordered it used, so apparently it was a staff pick. That's fabulous. I don't know what staff picked it, but oh, and then here we go again. Here's the trend. Here's the trend. Another book that just opened up with a bookmark. Isn't it crazy? So I've got a free bookmark in here. So this is a very slim volume, and this was his first novel to be published in English, and which launched him as a literary legend and international sensation. The description here is a hypnotic deathbed confession revolving around Opus Dei, poetry, and Pinochet. By Night in Chile pours out the self-justifying dark memories of the Jesuit priest Father Urrutia. As through a crack in the wall, Urrutia's single night-long rant provides a terrifying clandestine view of those strange Chilean bedfellows, church and state. And I think that appealed to me. This is all the elements that really, I don't know, all those elements are very intriguing to me, and I like it. So I got this one. So that'll be a very quick read. And then this next book I saw on Steve Donahue's channel. It might have been from an older video. I'm not sure when he had read this, but it was intriguing. And I was like, so it's The Mole People, Life in the Tunnels Beneath New York City. And just the way Steve was describing it, about how people have just basically built a life down below and all the different levels that people don't know exist anymore. And actually, it rang a bell when I had read a novel or two by Douglas Preston and Lincoln Child. I think it was the Pendergast series, and they had it set in the tunnels. It might have been the Cabinet of Curiosities, but yeah, he kind of really explored the underworld and of the tunnels and the people living down there. So it kind of brought back memories of that book, which I really enjoyed as well. So this is The Mole People by Jennifer Toth. And again, third time in a row I opened the book up, and I was like, oh my God, it's another bookmark. Well, you know what it is? It's a paint swatch. It's a paint swatch. This is Aurora Splendor, in case any of you guys are really intrigued. So, yeah, so I've got 2 bookmarks and a paint swatch in my used books. So that's a pretty good deal for just a couple bucks. This next book I had been wanting for a while, and I finally decided just to get it. It was probably about a $7 used book. And this is Jane Welsh Carlyle and Her Victorian World, A Story of Love, Work, Friendship, and Marriage. This is by Kathy Chamberlain. This is put out by Overlook Duckworth. So I've been intrigued by Thomas Carlyle lately because obviously I chose his book Sartor Resartus for BookTuber, which I still have not finished the book because I need more background on this book. I need to know more about the author, I think, to understand what he's trying to do with it. But then I learned more about Jane Welsh Carlyle, and I learned more about their marriage, and just at first how they were just very much in love and equals, and she had this bracing intellect to match his own, and I wanted to learn more about them both, their marriage. And so I picked this up, and a nice decollage. It's in good condition. I had to pull off the sticker, but I still need to work on that a little more. So that's I'm intrigued by this. This is yeah, it'll talk about. It says like here, hailed by Virginia Woolf as one of the all-time great letter writers, Jane Welsh Carlyle, wife of Victorian literary celebrity Thomas Carlyle, has been much overlooked. In this compelling new biography, a delightful book about the early stirrings of feminism in Victorian England and a celebration of the lost art of letter writing, says Kirkus Reviews. Kathy Chamberlain brings Jane out of her husband's shadow, focusing on Carlyle as a remarkable woman and writer in her own right. So it goes into some more detail, but yeah, guys, so that looks pretty interesting. Okay, so the final book, I don't think I've mentioned this before because I was sick, but I was really just watching a lot of BookTube and really exploring some new channels. And I think I am going to do a shout out here for a channel that I'm learning. I've already gotten some really good recommendations on some fiction because, you know, I am trying to read more fiction outside of mysteries. I need to move on into more serious fiction. That's why I got the Roberto Bolaño, and I want to read 2666. But there's this channel called Leaf by Leaf, and the host's name is Chris, I believe. And wow, I linked his channel below. So please go check out his videos if you're really into fiction and someone who can really break down a book with passion, you know, intelligent insight. Who knows what he's doing when he breaks down a book of fiction, and he's, oh my gosh, he's really impressive, and just a really nice guy. I subbed his channel. I suggest you do too if you love. Oh, he's working through a Western core series right now, where he's you know, looking at the classics of Western fiction, and I think recently he did one on Don Quixote. And there might be a more recent one. But he makes me want to read that book again. I had tried reading like the first couple of chapters of that book when I was younger, and I was just like, But the way he's describing it, now I'm realizing I've missed out. I didn't realize it was a story about books, like a story about. I didn't realize that. You got to watch that video, if anything, and I'll link his channel. I'll link that video just to give you a taste. But there's a writer that he just really loves, and he's done a few videos on him, and I had never heard of him before. And this was one of the books that, and I've ordered a couple already, and I don't know if I've shown them on here, but it's William T. Vollman. I don't know if you guys have heard of him, and maybe he's more popular than I know, and I'm just kind of new to this. Well, this book is different in that it's Expelled from Eden. It's a William T. Vollman reader. And it's kind of a, oh boy, it's broken up into parts. There's different writings collected here. Part 1 is on background and influences, and you got part 2 on death, war, and violence. I mean, I guess he's gone to different places and written some really harrowing stuff. He's written about poor people. He's written about oh gosh, I'm trying to think of all of his books now. He's written out like books on is it the carbon ideologies? I think it's a 2-volume thing on that, about I think nuclear power, and but it's just intriguing, and I learned a lot about him through Chris at Leaf by Leaf, and I told him, I said, well, I'm gonna try to get a few of his books and check them out. Basically, some of the books he's written, they've called masterworks, such as You Bright and Risen Angels, The Royal Family, Rising Up and Rising Down. So this is his best of collection, intended both as an introduction for the curious reader and as a necessary addition to the existing fans' collection. These are excerpts from all of Vollman's novels, journalistic pieces, essays, correspondence, and poetry. So yeah, I don't know. I was intrigued, and I saw this was available. Someone has already done me the favor. They have reinforced this book. You can see how shiny it is. Let me I guess they put a nice little layer of, well, I guess the library did that, of course. Thank you, Las Vegas Public Library, County Library. Yeah, so this one's reinforced, it's used, and it's in great condition. And I'd like to explore some of his reading. I'm drawing a blank on the other book that I bought that is the first in a series of books that are supposed to explore the history of North America, I believe, from the time of the Native Americans and then the intermingling with the the colonists. I'm drawing a blank, you guys, but I'll put information below. But yeah, anyway, these are some of the things I've picked up. So that knocks out one of the things on my list that I needed to show you guys were my used books. The next two things will be my Samuel Eliot Morison book haul, and that is coming, Mark, so don't worry. I know you were very excited for that. Mark Richardson at Richardson Reads. And then just a book haul I did that Book Outlet had on sale that I can blame a Book Olive for, because she's the one that tweeted about it. I never would have known about this sale, or I've never bought from that site before. And then she tweeted about it, and they're having some big Christmas markdown, and everything was, their prices that were normally low were already marked down half. And so that was just a nightmare waiting, a disaster waiting to happen for me as far as trying not to buy any more books. So I ended up getting a box of books. So anyway, yeah, those are, I guess you could call them Friday reads. Friday things I've procured. I'm really excited to dip into open season, and also my Alfred Hitchcock's Mystery Magazine. I just love these little things. They're just so cute. Yeah, good times. Well, guys, I don't know what you're up to on a Friday. I hope you're reading good stuff. I've really enjoyed getting back in touch with everyone. Thanks for all of your comments and your sweet, thoughtful comments on my last couple of videos. Thank you to all my subscribers and new subscribers. Yeah, I'm just really tickled. I even had a nice quote from or a comment from Dan and Emma from the Real Life Ghost Stories podcast. They enjoyed the video that I mentioned them in. It's a great podcast. In fact, I listened to their story about Bridget Cleary last night. It was very unsettling, and that is a true story. So, I don't know. Go check them out, guys. All right, so I'm going to leave it here for now. This has kind of been a full day for me where I've really been out and about. It's about 3:45 here, and I've been going since about 10 o'clock. Well, earlier than that, I guess, since I got up. So I think I need to get comfortable and get some tea and get a book and just kind of crap out. Because I don't want to push things. I'm still a little, I'm rattling, but I'm rolling. And I'm glad I got out of the house because I was getting cabin fever. Tell you what, cabin fever is no fun. Okay, guys, well, I will cut it off here. Thanks for tuning in. I will be back soon. And yeah, happy Friday. Talk to you soon, BookTube. Bye.